Greetings, Pokey fans! Michael here, and a few weeks ago, I posted a video where I reacted to a world record speedrun of Pokemon Red, the first speedrun I had ever actually watched. You guys seemed to really enjoy that video and wanted me to react to more Pokemon related things, so that's what this is. I got quite a few suggestions, but one of the suggestions that stood out to me was Small Ant 1's playthrough challenge of Pokemon Platinum. Can you beat Pokemon Platinum without taking any damage? And this stood out to me because I saw it and thought to myself, I don't think so. This playthrough challenge stood out to me because I don't really know how he's gonna do it. I mean, most playthrough challenges I see it and I'm like, yeah, you know, use just that Pokemon, I understand. But with this one, is it coded so that no damage is taken and he can only win battles with OHKO moves? Or is it possibly that if he takes any damage at all, then he just loses the challenge? Or does he just use a Shedinja the whole time? I don't know, and I want to know, so that is why I am watching it. Before we get started, I need to give a huge thank you to Small Ant 1 for giving me permission to react to his video. Definitely make sure to check out his content, linked to the description below, both his YouTube and his Twitch. Go subscribe. But I think that covers all the intro stuff. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and let's get started with my reaction to Can You Beat Pokemon Platinum Without Taking Damage? All right, here we are on Small Ant 1's video. I think I just need to hit play. Hopefully my recording isn't screwed up. And all right, let's get started.
Pokemon Platinum came out in 2008. I played a ton of it as a kid. Gen 4 is probably the one I put the most hours into. I wanted to replay it recently for nostalgia, you know, but it's Pokemon. If you've played it once, there really isn't much reason to play through again, so...
Disagree. You can use different teams. You can play a game you haven't played in a while. That's another reason. Okay, yeah, that's all I got.
I made it a bit more interesting. I tried to beat Pokemon Platinum without ever having my Pokemon take any damage. Here's how it went. I named myself Ant, and the rival was the man, of course, and walked over to get my first Pokemon from Rowan. I chose Piplup. It starts with Pound instead of Tackle, which is great because it has 100% accuracy instead of the 95% accuracy that Tackle has in this generation.
Okay, that's fair.
The man wanted to fight. Just keep using Withdraw, please.
And he immediately fails?
Alright. Yep, took damage. Had to reset. To not take damage fighting this Turtwig, it needs to withdraw 6 times in a row.
What?
And then there's 2 tackles. Barring a crit from Piplup, the chances of this happening are around 0.004%.
Yeah,
so I threw myself at the battle over and over for half an hour until I quit. Well, with Piplup at least. I thought about it a bit harder, and it turns out Turtwig was the right choice. Fighting against Chimchar, it knows Leer instead of Withdraw as its non-attacking move. This means it won't make our attacks weaker each turn. All that needs to happen is Chimchar Leering 4 times in a row, which is a 1 in 16 chance. Much better odds. And on the 3rd attempt with Turtwig, I lucked out and it happened.
3rd attempt?
No damage rival battle.
So this is, okay, so this answers my question. If he just at any point takes damage, he fails the playthrough? That is madness? Like, how many attempts is this gonna take? It's already taken several with Piplup. The fact that he got the, like, just 3rd one on Turtwig, but this to me is, this man is a madman. Mad ant, I guess.
Again? Leer again! Yes! We're through! We've done it! After 40 minutes.
69. 69 experience points. Oh my god, it's a good omen.
Finally able to make some progress. Talk to Rowan, nickname Turtwig, get some Pokeballs, and then we're free to have some fun. I can go right up to the next route, battle the first trainer who has a Starly with Quick Attack. Huh. Okay, it's time to start solving problems. What can you do to not get hit by a Starly that has a move that will always hit before you? Well, Turtwig literally can't. He learns no priority moves. I had to catch my own Starly. Here's how that went. Let's do it. Oh, crap.
He's gonna get hit.
Growl.
It's gonna attack.
Thank you!
Oh, okay.
1, 2, 3...
Oh, yes!
First try! I got lucky and caught it first try.
First try!
Then I accidentally pressed the power button and had to redo it all, which took like an hour. Anyway.
Oh no! Oh, that's okay. I was not anticipating the random just yeah, I accidentally deleted the entire thing.
Early in the party, I had to train it up until it could one-hit KO the opponent's Starly with its own quick attack. A quick attack KO is guaranteed once Starly evolves and gets to level 19, so I had to do some grinding.
Wow!
Grinding in this challenge isn't like normal Pokemon grinding at all. To guarantee you never take damage, you need to also one-hit KO every wild Pokemon. Unfortunately, the only attacking moves that Turtwig and Starly know are Tackle. And if I use those, there's a 5% chance that they miss each time. Getting to level 19 with Starly, I'll be using enough tackles that I'm essentially guaranteed to miss at least once. So I needed to find an alternative to training against wild Bidoofs and Starlies.
Is it gonna be something like, are there any wild Pokemon that learn no attacking moves? Is that?
The solution is found at night. Turns out, this route has a minor Kricketot infestation.
Okay.
At night, there's a 10% chance for a Kricketot to appear. And at this level, the little musical bugs only have Bide and Growl. Bide takes 2 turns to deal damage, so as long as my Pokemon can defeat the Kricketots in 2 turns, we're good to grind. But of course, Starly can't do it in 2 turns, but Turtwig can. So I had to train Turtwig up until it was able to one-shot the Kricketots, then I could switch train Starly until it could fight them. During this grinding, the chat and I decided on the full rules for the challenge. We decided that after each badge, I was able to save, and if I happened to take damage, I could reset the game back up to the previous gym.
That makes me feel a little bit better, because I'm sitting here thinking, this sounds like possibly the most miserable playthrough challenge I've ever seen anyone attempt. I've just noticed down at the bottom it says 57 resets, so I'm glad to hear that there are checkpoints, because I would have lost my mind if this guy had to reattempt it from the beginning every time. My God.
It stays true to the challenge because it's really about strategizing about how to make progress rather than wasting my life away doing mindless grinding for hours.
I agree with that.
As you'll see, I still wasted a rather large amount of time.
Yeah.
And another thing, for mindless grinding, I sped up the game because, again, I'm not trying to waste my life fighting Kricketots for 30 hours. After
I think it's funny that he was just like, oh, by the way, I should let you guys know that I did speed up the game. And for me, it's like, I do these, when I record my playthrough challenges, I am speeding up the whole time. The only time I don't speed up the game is like during like official like gym battles and stuff like that, because your boy's got stuff to do, okay? There is no shame, Mr. Small Ant, in speeding up the game. No need to justify yourself. Speed up as you need for the sake of getting content out on time.
the entire Kricketot population, my Starly evolved and grew to level 19. I was ready for the first battle. I completely stomped youngster Tristan.
After many, many hours, I finally had a Staravia, meaning I was ready for the first battle. That's a funny sentence concept. I love it.
With quick attack and was able to progress. It took 9 in-game hours to defeat the first trainer.
Ooh.
This is gonna be a long one. In addition to Staravia, I had to train up Turtwig all the way to level 25 in this route to evolve and learn Mega Drain. It's the first somewhat okay grass move with 100% accuracy. This took an additional 9 in-game hours. From here, I was able to move up to Jubilife, I crushed the man with Staravia, and ran over towards Orbra... and accidentally ran into this trainer. Yes!
Whew.
Oh my god! Ah!
Dear God.
That quick attack had a 1/5 chance to not KO, by the way.
Ooh! I thought he was gonna say 1/5 chance to KO. 1/5, that's better, still terrifying.
Really could not afford to make any more mistakes like that. With that over, I carefully navigated the route and cave to enter Orberg City and battle the first gym. I did the calculations, and my level 25 Grottle should just barely be able to take out Roark with Mega Drains. Go Runk, baby! Oko?
One
good.
down! Yes, let's go!
This is the one, this is the tough one. Oko!
Viva Las Vegas, I'm so proud!
Just like that, the first gym was done. I made my first save point and was ready to move on to Floroma Town. This was where I made the discovery that made this challenge a lot more difficult.
Oh no.
Team-up battles. In these battles,
Oh, no.
you're forced to team up with someone else. And the people who you're teamed up with kinda suck. The first required team battle is with Dawn against 2 Galactic Grunts. These grunts have a Glameow and a Stunky. The Glameow knows Fake Out. The only option is to
Oh
quick attack
no, fake out? That's just not fair.
to outspeed the Glameow, as priority moves in this game all have the same level of priority, then hope the Stunky doesn't hit me. No matter
Oh
what.
wait, seriously? I didn't know that. I didn't know fake out had the same priority as quick attack in Gen 4. I just assumed it was always like the maximum. That's interesting. I guess that kind of saves him here.
It's essentially a 50-50 chance of getting hit. So I quick attacked the Glameow, which I miscalculated and it didn't even take it out. But the Glameow and Stunky both attacked the Piplup, enabling me to finish this battle first try.
Sacrificial chicken.
After that battle, it was clear my Pokemon needed to be stronger, so I trained up Grotle until level 32, so it evolved and learned Earthquake. Then went to Florida.
Oh my god. He has a Torterra before he even gets to Floaroma. That's insane.
Valley Windworks was next, and inside was Commander Mars. Her ace is a level 17 Purugly. It has Fake Out. To outspeed and one-hit KO the Purugly with Quick Attack, my Staravia needed to evolve and then get to level 40. I only had the first badge. I grinded against level 10 wild Pokemon until I took damage because I'm dumb. And that team-up battle that I did first try earlier took 3 tries to get past again. Then grinded for another 2.5 hours until Staraptor was finally a level 40. And I could defeat a level 17 Purugly.
Man, I'm not even doing this challenge. I would never do a challenge that was this time consuming and difficult because I don't have the willpower. I'm just sitting here exhausted on this man's behalf because this is just miserable.
After saving Valley Windworks, I was able to move up into Eterna Forest and oh god, it's more team-up battles. In the forest, you are forced to team up with Cheryl. The first required battle in Eterna Forest is against Jack and Brianna. Brianna has a Pachirisu with Quick Attack. So I went into it hoping for the best, and I got hit. So I went all the way back to the first gym. I did 3 hours of grinding, this time catching a Bidoof.
He has to redo the grinding every time? No! No, man, come on. Like, no. No!
For HMs, and finding a diseased weasel.
Oh my god!
I put it out of its misery, of course. Then...
What? Dude, why didn't you catch the weasel? Come on, man.
tried the fight again.
Wurmple? Wurmple, behave yourself.
Oko. Straight
Yes.
shot! Let's go! Yes! Alright. Oh,
Suck it, Wurmple.
finally. We're good now. And I succeeded. I beat the first required battle of the forest. Keyword. First.
Oh no.
Fortunately, though, the other battles I was able to force into single battles, so they weren't a
Oh,
problem.
because you can talk to
and
him.
I was able to
That
cast
makes sense.
aside the blight of Cheryl.
During my Platinum playthrough challenge, there's like some Ace Trainer double battle later in the game that I talked about in my playthrough challenge. Like, this was absolutely miserable. Like, I almost lost it. And then people in the comments were telling me, like, you could just walk up to one and talk to them and make it single battles. And I was just like, I'm a dumb boy. Clearly, Small Ant 1 is not a dumb boy.
Eterna City is the location of the grass gym, and because I had a level 40 Staraptor, I completely blew it away with a wing attack.
All right,
The second badge was
checkpoint,
mine
thank God.
after 33.5 in-game hours, not including the time spent in the resets, by the way. After the gym, I went back and caught a Buizel for later.
75% chance. Please.
Should have just caught the shiny one.
2, 3. Big paws. Let's go.
Easily cleared out the Galactic base, grabbed a bike, and the Explorer kit. I cautiously traveled through to Hardhome, with a few uneventful battles along the way. The next big hurdle was Badge 3,
Oh, the hardest one.
Ghost Gym Leader. Fantina has a Duskull with Shadow Sneak, a priority move. Then a Haunter with Sucker Punch, also a priority move. The Duskull was simple to deal with because Shadow Sneak couldn't hit my Staraptor,
Yeah, that's true.
but the Haunter was trouble. Sucker Punch was able to hit my Staraptor, and Quick Attack couldn't hit the Haunter. So in order to beat the Haunter, I needed to train my
Aqua
Buizel
Jet.
to level 45 so it evolved, and had the stats to defeat the Haunter with a single Aqua Jet. The final Pokemon...
Can we just talk about how I just want to mention his 3 like attacking Pokemon, like not his HM Bidoof, but his Floatzel, Staraptor, and Torterra. are 3 of the 6 team members I used on my first ever Pokemon Diamond team. So I feel like there's a fun connection here we've got going on.
On Miss Magius was a simple crunch. And the 3rd badge was mine after 46 in-game hours.
Jesus.
With the 3rd badge in the bag, this was where the challenge changed. I grabbed a gift Eevee, but the man who gave me some incredible advice.
Make sure all your attacks hit, avoid every enemy attack. That's the strat. That's all you gotta do.
Why haven't we been doing this before?
Into Salacian Town, confident as ever. Salacian Town has the Pokemon Daycare. The Daycare is what turned this challenge from a boring, grindy mess into a fun puzzle. If you deposit Pokemon in the Daycare, every step you take, your Pokemon gains 1 experience point. So all I had to do to get level 100 Pokemon was to shove them in the Daycare and bike up and down over and over until I traveled around 1 million tiles. And that—
Okay, 2 things. 1, this changed it from a boring, grinding mess into a fun puzzle. I would argue running back and forth 1 million tiles is kind of a boring, grinding mess too. But secondly, how the hell is he gonna afford this?
That's what I did. I threw Staraptor and Floatzel into the Daycare, and off-stream, biked up and down for 30 in-game hours, or around 8 hours with the speed up. The next stream, I was ready to crush this game. Or so I thought. I picked up my incredibly powerful level 100 Pokemon,
Okay, I guess he could just afford it.
Through Route 215, until I encountered a very unexpected problem. Ace Trainer Dennis.
Oh, these are the ones I was talking about!
Driftblim. Driftblims have the ability Aftermath, where, on the turn the Pokemon is defeated, if the opposing Pokemon made contact, it takes damage. This was a problem. My 2 level 100s only had moves that made contact. We scoured the game and strategized the best we could, and the best solution to the problem, barring extra hours and hours of grinding, was getting Rock Tomb and teaching it to Floatzel. In Gen 4, Rock Tomb only has 80% accuracy.
Oh,
it was
no.
a 1 in 5 chance that I would take damage. A 1 in 5 chance I would have to spend 8 more hours of my life biking up and down. Here's the battle.
No! No!
God. Just 1 closer to 69, baby.
I should have probably just done some extra grinding on my Torterra instead. But I reset. And since I'm stubborn, I just tried the Rock Tomb strategy again.
Why?
Yes.
Man.
Oh, it doesn't happen twice. Let's go.
So that was a fun way to waste 8 hours. With that fight complete, I moved on to the 4th gym.
Rock Tomb is just don't use it. Remember, kids, if it's not 100% accurate, it's 50% accurate.
Swept the whole thing easily and saved the game. 73 hours in. Next up was doing a quick battle against some Galactic Grunts. With Dawn. The Grunts opened with 2 Zubats.
Dawn,
so I
no!
can't equate them with Torterra. I was a bit reckless here because I had just finished a gym, so I decided to test my luck, taking them on without any strategy. I had to reset a few times until...
Nice.
Yes!
This was the moment Chat and I decided
Yes!
to never make a single mistake ever again. So we came up with a full...
You know what? I think I'm just going to never make any errors again. Honestly, I don't know why we don't all apply that philosophy to our lives as a whole.
I walked down to Pastoria City, went to the move reminder, and taught Floatzel Swift, which hits both Pokemon in double battles. With
Can't
this
miss
excellent
either.
idea, I was able to defeat the Grunts without having to rely on good luck. The 5th gym was up next, and it was easy. Just Aerial Ace Crash Awake Gyarados, Quick Attack the Floatzel as it had Aqua Jet, and Aerial Ace the Quagsire. 5 badges down, 3 to go. Before the 6th gym, I did have to run a few errands, like delivering the old charm to Cynthia's grandma in Celestic Town. I traveled through the foggy area on Route 210, and accidentally got into a battle. Of course, I had also forgot to use Defog, so I was going into the battle with a 40% chance to miss each attack.
Oh,
Fortunately,
no.
I had Aerial Ace for Scyther, but the Scyther knew Quick Attack, so I had to use my own Quick Attack. It hit.
Thank God.
Next was a Luxio, which I was able to take out with an Aerial Ace. The final Pokemon was the worst case scenario, a Probopass. Both Swift and Aerial Ace would not take it out in one hit. Here's what happened.
Don't miss. No. No.
Now he doesn't outspeed.
Ah. Ah.
Man, Hitting that through the fog and not getting paralyzed, the Hacks gods blessed this man this day.
Ah! Oh, that was lucky. The rest of the route I smartened up and used defog, so it was stress-free. I destroyed Cyrus in the ruins, snagged Surf, and made my way to Canalave City. The man was waiting for me, so I Aquajet the Staraptor and Infernape, Aerial Aces Roserade and Heracross, and Quick Attack the Floatzel. Easy. Before the gym, I paid a visit to Iron Island to see Riley.
Team
to
up.
get the HM for strength, you have to talk to Riley. The thing is, all of the Iron Island battles are dreaded team battles.
But they're optional.
Fortunately, though, Riley just hands strength to you right at the start.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they're optional.
So I abandoned him and went right back to Canalab for the gym.
See ya, boy.
Forwards. I did need to pick up a Mystic Water in Pastoria, though, to ensure an Aquajet KO on a Scizor that knew Quick Attack.
Interesting.
Other than that, though, it was a clean Surf sweep for the 6th badge. Team Galactic
Way to
started
go,
causing some
Floatzel.
chaos, so I went to Lake Valor, cleaned things up there, then Lake Verity.
I'm still so upset that he KO'd the Buizel and then ends up the shiny Buizel and ends up using a Floatzel on his team. I mean, I think he had to do a reset after it anyways. Did he have to do that? I don't remember. I'm so sad about the Buizel.
Because Dawn couldn't handle it herself, and up towards Snow Point to Lake Acuity, where it's hailing. But that's okay, because I had a way to deal with it. Remember the Eevee I picked up? By walking just barely into the hail on Route 217, and using a rare candy on Eevee. It evolved into Glaceon, a Pokemon immune to the effects of hail. But it was still weak, and it doesn't learn any good Ice-type moves, so I chucked it and Torterra into the daycare to make them strong. The only powerful Ice-type move with 100% accuracy in this gen is Ice Beam. To acquire Ice Beam, you have to spend 10,000 Game Corner coins. 10,000 Game Corner coins cost 200,000 Poké Dollars.
Oh
and
my
I was
God.
completely broke after spending all of my money on the daycare. So I came up with a get-rich-quick scheme. Make Staraptor hold a Luck Incense, walk up to some snobby rich kids, and beat them up repeatedly with the Versa Seeker until the entirety of their parents' wealth is securely in my pocket. Then I
Pretty smart.
TM. With that done, it was just a matter of running up and down for another 8 hours. Once Glaceon and Torterra were level 100, I was ready to take on the Blizzard. I taught Glaceon Ice Beam and Shadow Ball, and went to the move reminder to get Ice Shard. The battles through Route 217 were straightforwards. Ice Shard the Pokemon.
It took a second to kick in, but can we just acknowledge that he was just like, it was simply a matter of running up and down for 8 hours. I could never.
With priority moves, Shadow Ball the Pokemon resistant to Ice, and Ice Beam the rest. Snow Point City Gym.
I don't think Curlia resists ice. I don't think it resists ice. I just think it was, I mean, he did use Shadow Ball, but okay, sorry, I'm nitpicking.
Was not as easy. The first issue was the puzzle itself. A few of the trainers in the gym have Snovers, then Sneasels. Snovers set up Hail with the Snow Warning ability, and in Gen 4, weather effects last indefinitely. Then the Sneasels have Quick Attack, forcing my Glaceon to stay in and use a priority move. The thing with this is that Ice Shard or Quick Attack both don't do enough to KO a Sneasel. So I needed to find a path through the gym that avoided all trainers to not risk getting into one of these
Is that even
Snover Sneasel
possible?
fights. It took a while, but after looking at a map of the gym for nearly 15 minutes, Chad and I were able to find a route skipping all of the trainers in the gym while solving the puzzle. Of course, that wasn't the only difficulty in
Really?
the gym.
I didn't know that was
We
possible.
still had Candace. Candace opens with a Sneasel, which was simple. Since it wasn't hailing yet, we're able to outspeed its Quick Attack with Aqua Jet for the knockout, but Pokemon 2 is where things get more complicated. If Candace sends out Abomasnow next, it starts hailing with Snow Warning. Abomasnow itself can be taken out easily with Glaceon's Ice Beam, and the Pillow that follows it. But the reason that Hail is a problem is because of Frostlass and its ability, Snowcloak. Snowcloak and Hail
Oh, evasion sucks.
KO. I need to move on Glaceon that never misses. And as you can clearly see, Glaceon doesn't have one of those no-miss moves. Well, except it does. The
Blizzard.
hail here that causes the accuracy issue
Yeah.
also solves it. As it turns out, Blizzard bypasses the accuracy check while hailing. So I was able to Blizzard with 100% confidence.
I actually only learned that recently, like within the last month. For a while, I just thought, oh, it just makes it 100% accurate. But of course, then evasion could still make it miss. I only learned recently that it makes it completely bypass the accuracy check, just so it will always hit if it's hailing, which I think is fascinating. It's like the times accuracy doing that for all moves in Gen 1.
Take out the Frostlass, nabbing me the 7th badge. I dealt with the Lake Acuity stuff, then wiped out the Galactic headquarters, getting the Master Ball from Cyrus along the way, and headed up to Spear Pillar for the end of the world. Oh, you thought I was talking about the whole portal thing? No, it's another team battle. But for real though, this one was surprisingly easy. None of the opposing Pokemon, no priority moves. So Floatzel was able to surf, instantly drowning everything on the field. I hopped into another dimension real quick and caught Giratina with the Master Ball. It wasn't quite as strong as I needed it to be, so I biked up and down for 2 hours until it was
yeah, what's up, Giratina?
Rich Kids again for money, for some stat boosting items, and a few TMs I'll explain later. Then, I was able to move through Route 222, only fighting a single trainer with a Wingull.
Alright, Kuro level 100. Should just absolutely crush with aerial aces. Yes.
No!
Which I forgot had Quick Attack. So, I reset and got everything all over again. When I returned to the Wingull, I remembered it had Quick Attack this time. Now, onto the final gym. The opposing Pokemon are
dirty
now getting to the
Wingull.
levels where every battle needs to be meticulously planned out. Quick Attack the Jolteon with Staraptor to outspeed its own Quick Attack, Earth Power the Raichu with Giratina, Surf the Luxray with Floatzel, and with a Silk Scarf on Staraptor, Quick Attack the Electivire to get the 8th badge. From here, it was a quick jog through Victory Road and a simple rival battle before the Elite Four Gauntlet. I taught my team some important TMs, leveled up Giratina one last time to restore balance, and went in. No going back now. The start of the Aaron battle was simple. Aerial Ace is Yanmega, Earthquake the Drapion, Aerial Ace the Vespiquen, and Aerial Ace the Heracross. The Scizor, though, was trouble. Scizor knew Quick Attack, and it had enough defense where my own Quick Attack or Aqua Jet couldn't take it out. There were no priority moves that could defeat it in one shot. So, my solution was Giratina, who wasn't affected by Quick Attack.
There we go.
The problem with Giratina was that it was only level 69, and a level 69 Giratina couldn't normally defeat a Scizor in one hit. Well, not without Natural Gift.
Natural Gift?
It's a move that changes its typing and damage based on the berry that your Pokemon is holding. Give Giratina an Aqua Berry, and Natural Gift becomes a 60 power Fire-type move.
Oh
so
my
I did just
God.
that and incinerated the Scizor.
That is incredible. That's like my favorite moment, I think, of this playthrough. Like you said, the fun puzzle solving, that is an aspect. Like, I need a fire move to KO the Scizor. You can't learn any without leveling it up. Oh, but what's this? A move that no one would ever use under regular circumstances because it's garbage? And then, I love that. That's so fun.
Winning the first battle. Bertha was next, but with Torterra, the battle was simple. Giga Drain everything except Gliscor, where you use Ice Beam with Glaceon. Flint was another simple one, Surf the Houndoom, Aqua Jet the Infernape, Surf the Rapidash and Magmortar, and Aqua Jet the Flareon. Lucian was next, an easy Shadow Ball sweep, except for Espeon, where I had to Quick Attack with Staraptor. The final fight was
alright, here we go.
Meticulously planned fight of them all. Glaceon's Ice Beam couldn't take out the Spiritomb in one hit, so I had to give it an Icicle Plate to deal just enough damage.
Very nice.
Lucario had extreme speed, so I had to use Giratina. Giratina was leveled exactly to 69 and given just enough stat boosting items to outspeed. Giratina was also given choice specs, which I picked up in Celestic Town. So Earth Power just barely KO'd.
Ooh, nice.
I made sure Glaceon had enough speed to outspeed the Garchomp to KO it and Togekiss with Ice Beam. I taught Staraptor close combat to one-hit KO the Milotic. Then it was an Ice Beam onto the Roserade to finish off the challenge and beat Pokemon Platinum.
That is
without
fantastic.
Taking a single hit point of damage. 138 hours, 37 minutes, not including the resets. And
I just noticed 69 plus 1. That's funny.
that's how I did it. If you enjoyed this and want to see more, make sure to subscribe. I play games wrong all the time. And stop by my Twitch for the live experience if you're into that.
All right. Small Ant, incredible job. I'm very impressed by that. My closing thoughts on this are, dear God, I would never do this. But I was thoroughly entertained by that. Like I said, I loved the natural gift part. If that could be done in like a shorter amount of time, I maybe would consider it, but I can never devote that much time to this, holy crap. One thing that just occurred to me though is I think it's interesting that he didn't utilize a ghost type earlier. The first ghost type he used was Giratina, which was clearly very effective for handling quick attacks and extreme speeds, things that were pretty prominent. So I think it's interesting that he didn't utilize one of the earlier available ghost types, like Gengar is one that I'm thinking of. I think it's interesting that he didn't use that. There's probably some reasoning that I haven't done the research enough to figure out, but I feel like that would have been helpful. Thank you again to Small Ant 1 for letting me make this video. I had a lot of fun with it. Don't forget to check out his channel, and thank you guys for watching, especially my patrons who are supporting me over on Patreon, which is extra appreciated because ad rates on YouTube are very, very bad right now. So thank you so much to them. If you want to help support me in the same way, the link is in the description below. But if you want to check out some more of my fun Pokemon content, I recommend these videos here. All right, that's all I have for now. So until next time, Poké fans, gotta catch them all.